Have you ever felt that something invisible guides your decisions, even when logic fails to explain it? Perhaps it was a dream you couldn't ignore, or that unsettling feeling that something just doesn't fit. These kinds of experiences are neither random nor unique. Welcome to Journey into the Unconscious. Together, we will explore the depths of the psyche, the collective unconscious, and the teachings of Carl Jung. Get ready to discover new dimensions of yourself and the universe around us. Carl Jung, a renowned psychologist who dedicated his life to unraveling the mysteries of the human soul, left a fundamental message. Everything you need to transform your life already resides within you. Reflect on that. We often search for solutions outside ourselves, in books, advice from others, or even the digital world. However, what Jung discovered and few dare to explore is that the deepest answers lie within us. That connection to the unconscious, which we often ignore or repress, is the key to discovering our authentic essence. The moment you are reading this is not a mere coincidence either. Jung coined the term synchronicity to describe how certain events seem to align almost magically when we follow the right path. Something deep within you has brought you here, as if a part of you knew this was the precise moment to hear these ideas. This is the first step, recognizing that what happens around you is not random. Throughout life, it's common to feel disconnected, as if we are trapped in someone else's script. Perhaps you've experienced unfulfilling relationships or goals that, once achieved, fail to bring satisfaction. That sense of emptiness is your unconscious calling, asking you to look within and discover what truly matters. Within each of us lies a vast universe of symbols, stories, and meanings waiting to be explored. The seemingly illogical dreams, the inexplicable emotions, and the people who appear unexpectedly are all signs. Everything is interconnected, and your unconscious uses these clues to guide you toward your purpose. Imagine your life as a giant puzzle. Some pieces fit easily, while others seem out of place. We often try to force pieces into the wrong spaces, afraid of the emptiness that remains when we let them go. However, when you release what isn't meant for you, you create space for what you truly need. By letting go, something remarkable happens. The right people begin to cross your path, opportunities arise effortlessly, and above all, you find an inner peace that once seemed unattainable. It's as if the universe, or perhaps your unconscious, responds to your decision to live aligned with your true essence. However, this process is not without its challenges. Jung spoke about confronting the most hidden parts of our psyche, those facets we prefer to ignore. It could be a deep fear, a persistent insecurity, or even repressed desires that we struggle to admit. We all have shadows, but many choose to hide them to avoid the pain or discomfort they often bring. However, there is an undeniable truth. Ignoring these parts does not make them disappear. In fact, the more we repress them, the more influence they exert over our lives. These shadows manifest in subtle yet significant ways. They can appear as relationships that drain our energy, decisions driven by fear rather than confidence, or even in those moments when life feels overwhelming. This is not a conspiracy of the universe against us, but signals from the unconscious desperately trying to get our attention. When we choose to face them and, instead of running away, decide to integrate them, something profoundly transformative happens. We begin to regain control over our existence. This path to authenticity requires courage. It means abandoning the masks we wear to fit in, releasing the expectations imposed by others, and daring to discover who we truly are. What's most remarkable is that by doing so, we not only transform our own lives, but also inspire those around us to follow a similar path. Everything that irritates us in others, that destabilizes or annoys us, is merely a reflection of something we have yet to accept within ourselves. Jung referred to this phenomenon as projection. What we perceive in others often serves as a mirror of our own shadows, revealing aspects we need to work on. Those people who seem to constantly challenge us are not in our lives by chance. They act as reflections, showing us what we must observe within ourselves. Subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any of our reflections and analyses on the work of Carl Jung. Join our community and begin your own journey into the unconscious towards self-knowledge and transformation. Imagine for a moment how much your perspective could change if, instead of reacting with anger or frustration to these situations, you saw them as opportunities for learning. I know it's not easy, but when you start analyzing your reactions and identifying patterns, you begin to ask yourself, what part of me is being reflected here? In that moment, you realize that every challenge is a doorway to greater self-awareness. This doesn't mean tolerating everything or allowing others to harm you. Rather, it involves learning to set clear and healthy boundaries, protecting your energy, and consciously choosing how and with whom you want to connect. Jung considered our energy to be something valuable, a kind of essential fuel that drives our lives, and it is our responsibility to care for it diligently. When you learn to let go of what doesn't serve you, you create space for what truly matters in your life. This is the point where transformation begins. Each time you choose to act from your authenticity, it feels as if something greater than yourself starts to align. The right people appear, obstacles dissolve, and things that once seemed impossible begin to unfold naturally. This isn't magic. It's what Jung described as synchronicity, the result of living in harmony with your essence. However, it's not about achieving unattainable perfection or completely eliminating the messiness of life. In fact, chaos is a fundamental part of growth. Jung asserted that it's impossible to awaken consciousness without going through moments of pain. It is in those moments of uncertainty, when everything seems to fall apart, that the opportunity arises to rebuild from a wiser and more conscious place. Imagine a forest after a wildfire. At first, everything appears devastated, but over time, life returns, stronger and more vibrant than before. This is how your inner process works. Every time you face a difficult situation and choose to learn from it rather than resist it, you allow something new and meaningful to flourish within you. This journey is not instantaneous. It's a constant effort, a daily exercise in connecting with yourself. It involves listening to your intuition and paying attention to those small internal messages we often ignore because we're too busy or distracted. That inner voice acts as a compass. The more you follow it, the easier it becomes to navigate through life. And something fundamental in this process is recognizing that you are not isolated. While this path is deeply personal, it's also true that we are all interconnected. There is an invisible web that connects people, and when you share your truth, you inspire others to do the same. It's like lighting a torch that not only illuminates your path, but also the paths of those around you. Take a moment to reflect. What aspects of yourself have you ignored? What dreams did you stop pursuing because you thought they were impossible or because you feared failure? Those parts are not lost. They are still there, waiting to be acknowledged and reintegrated into your life. When you reconnect with those aspirations and the forgotten facets of yourself, something remarkable happens. You regain the energy you thought was lost, your creativity, your enthusiasm, your passion. Everything comes back, and that energy doesn't just transform you, it also impacts those around you. You become a living example of what it means to live authentically. The first step in this process is small but crucial: to pause and listen. In the constant noise of the modern world, filled with distractions, expectations, and external pressures, taking a moment to pause can feel like an act of rebellion. However, it is in this space of calm that you can truly begin to hear yourself. Your unconscious is always communicating with you, and you don't need to be an expert in psychology to understand what it's trying to say. Your unconscious speaks through your emotions, dreams, and those moments that, while seemingly simple, resonate deeply within you. Jung believed that by paying attention to these signals, you begin to establish a connection with that part of yourself that holds the keys to your well-being. It's like turning on a flashlight in a dark room. Suddenly, everything starts to make sense. Think about those times when you've had a particularly vivid dream or a gut feeling that guided you in the right direction, even though you didn't know why. These are glimpses of your unconscious, opportunities to understand yourself better. However, it's not enough to notice them. You must act on them. Every small step you take toward integrating these facets of yourself strengthens your connection to your authenticity. One of the greatest challenges in this process is facing your own fears. Jung described fear as a shadow, something that seems immense and overwhelming because we project it onto our surroundings. But when you confront it, you discover it is nothing more than an illusion, a remnant of past experiences that only holds power over you if you allow it. This process isn't about fighting against yourself, but embracing all parts of who you are. Even the aspects you consider flaws or weaknesses hold valuable lessons. Jung called this integration work, bringing together all parts of your being, both positive and negative, and turning them into a source of strength and wisdom. A practical example of this concept can be found in your relationships. Think of someone who stirs strong emotions in you, whether positive or negative. That person might be reflecting something you need to explore within yourself. Perhaps their lack of commitment bothers you because it reminds you of your own fears of failure. Or, on the other hand, maybe you admire their confidence because you long to develop that quality in yourself. Every interaction is an opportunity to learn more about yourself. When you start viewing your relationships from this perspective, you free yourself from judgment and blame. Instead of holding others responsible for how they make you feel, you take control of your emotions and use those experiences for growth. This doesn't mean you should tolerate harmful behaviors or remain in damaging relationships. On the contrary, it means you can set boundaries from a place of self-love and respect for your energy. And speaking of boundaries, remember something essential. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. It's an act of love toward yourself. Jung taught that our energy is limited and valuable, and we must direct it toward what nourishes and strengthens us. When you constantly give all your energy to others without addressing your own needs, you eventually reach a point where you feel empty and disconnected. It's crucial to find balance, giving yourself permission to prioritize what truly matters in your life. Though it may feel strange at first, dedicate time to your passions, to those dreams that have been on the back burner, and to activities that genuinely nurture your spirit. By doing so, you not only transform your own experience, but also positively influence those around you. This balance creates a ripple effect. When you take care of yourself, you have more to give to others. Jung emphasized the importance of reconnecting with the dreams that once inspired you. Do you remember who you were before others' expectations began shaping your path? Perhaps as a child, you dreamed of creating, exploring, or learning without limits, but over time, those aspirations were overshadowed by responsibilities and fears. According to Jung, those dreams never truly disappear. They remain in the depths of your unconscious, waiting for the right moment to resurface. That moment might be now. Reflect on what once ignited your passion, those activities that made you lose track of time. These clues can serve as a beacon, lighting the way back to your true essence. You don't need to transform your entire life overnight. Every small step you take toward those dreams is an act of reconnection with yourself. The key lies in listening to yourself, in paying attention to the signals that arise from within. When you start trusting them, something shifts. You feel that the universe begins aligning circumstances in your favor. Ask yourself what you can let go of today, what no longer resonates with you, and what aspects of yourself you need to accept and integrate to feel more whole. These answers are the starting point for a more authentic life. Imagine what it would be like to wake up every day feeling in harmony with who you truly are, living according to your truth. This is not an unattainable ideal. It's something you can begin to build right now. It's about allowing yourself to be you, leaving doubts behind, and embracing your own abilities. This process doesn't need to be perfect, just authentic. By becoming aware of this, you can inspire others to do the same. Every decision you make, every action you take from this moment on, has the power to bring you closer to your best self. Within you already lies everything you need to live fully. You just need to trust it. Remember, the journey toward authenticity isn't about becoming someone else, but rediscovering who you truly are. This is just one part of the journey. Your exploration of the unconscious continues. Click on the next video to keep uncovering the teachings and secrets Carl Jung left for humanity. See you in the next episode of Journey into the Unconscious.